Good morning. I'm glad you joined us this morning. And this is another Sunday morning that we do things a little bit different. Today we're recording this from our home, and we're glad you joined us. But it is still with the Stanfield Church of God. I've got some scriptures I want to go into first thing this morning and share with you these scriptures that God has given me. And the title that I would lead off with today is, Have I Made a Difference in This Life? And I know that you have, and I know that many of us have. And the scriptures I'm going to be reading is from Psalms 139, 13 through 16. For you created my innermost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. Verse 15. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in the secret place, when I was woven together in the depths of the earth. Verse 16 is very important. Your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in the book. I want you to remember that. All the days were written in the book. We have a time that we spend here on earth. And during that time, we need to go in and we need to try to make a difference in other people's lives. We went in, and this week we had another loss to our family. We had another loss to our church. And we lost a very, very dear friend, Eric Baird. Eric was a young man, and he went in and he left what we thought was a little bit early. On Saturday morning, we had a phone call that rocked our world. We were shocked at what we heard. We were saddened by what we heard. Then we started to pray for Eric's dad, mom, Cliff and Robin, and Johnny, his brother. But when we got that call, it was something very unexpected. We immediately started praying and seeking God. But the good news is we're going to see Eric again. We'll see Eric again soon in heaven. And Eric is in a very good place. Eric has a new address now. He has a new home. We're going to miss him, but there's no way that Eric would come back now, because now that he's seen heaven. He has seen Jesus. He has seen family members, and he's spending time with them. And I mentioned his new address. I thought this was kind of unique when the Lord gave me this, and it'll let you know a little bit about Eric. His new address, I believe, and this is my story, and this is how I'm going to tell it. Eric's new address is Soggy Bottom Boys Boulevard. Eric loved doing that skit. He loved doing that. And every time he would ask, he did it with pleasure. If you knew Eric, you knew he liked to have fun. When Eric walked in a room, he lit that room up. When he saw you, you knew you was going to get greeted with a smile. And I'll tell you this, Eric was a dear friend. Eric made a difference in our lives. Eric made a difference in your life. And I'll tell you one thing that I know for sure. Like I said earlier, we're going to see him again. We don't understand everything. But during this hard time of this very difficult time, we know that we must lean on God and we must trust God. We don't understand everything that goes on. Only God knows best. In verse 16, when I read that, it says, only God knows that our days are numbered. Only God knows the day we're going to be born and the day we're going to pass. Only God knows because he keeps it recorded in his book. No one dies too early. No one dies too late. We all are going to miss Eric very bad. We're going to miss the Big E. That's what Robin called him. Eric loved his mom and his dad and Johnny and family. He loved his church. He loved the Lord most of all. And Eric loved everyone. And everyone loved Eric. Because like I said earlier, when he walked into that room, he lit it up. All those friends, and they are many. All the stories that they can tell about the good things about Eric. I tell you what, not only is his mom and dad and brother going to miss him, we're going to miss him. His aunts, his uncles, his cousins, they're going to miss him. I know that my mom, she's going to miss him because Eric was one of those that when he saw you, he made you feel very special. He made you feel like you was the only one in the room with him. But my mom and all those aunts and uncles, those cousins, we're going to miss him because he made every one of us feel special. And if you ever got in a fight, I don't want Eric on my side because that's the reason they called him Big E. But this is one thing about Eric. He made us all feel special. He made you feel special. When he was your friend, you knew it, and he didn't have to tell you. He'd always meet you with a big smile, a kind word, and occasionally a big hug. We don't want those hugs to be too much because Eric was stout. He's one of those guys that they talk about that could go bear hunting with a switch because that bear would run from him because he is tough. Things that he loved to do. He loved to do everything. He loved life and he lived it to the fullest. He loved being around family most of all and loved having a good time. And he could tell a story like no one else. The Big E. I promise you one thing. He's in heaven. I promise you another thing. That he made a difference in our lives. He made a difference in my life. Me and him sat down one time and talked. And he let me know how much he cared. He would tell you how much he cared about you. He wasn't shy about it. Cliff and Robin, Johnny, you didn't even have to tell him that you loved him. And you did all the time. But he knew it. He could see it in your face. He could see it in your eyes. He could hear it in your voice. And he also, you knew that he loved you because, again, he didn't have to say it. You knew it. When we look back, we'll see all the different things that Eric did. We'll spend time wondering, thinking about all the things that he did for us and the many times that he helped us, the many times he gives us a helping hand. But one thing I'm going to remember him by is always encouraging me and always encouraging my family and always being willing to help. Just a phone call. Just to ask. He was always there. This is very important. And I want you to remember this in closing. Eric had a never-ending love. Never-ending love. He loved us all. Robin, you're going to miss him. Cliff, you're going to miss him. Johnny, you're going to miss him. All those aunts and uncles are going to miss him. All those cousins are going to miss him. But we'll never, ever forget him because of that never-ending love. I want you to ask yourself, and Eric would want you to ask this. Have I made a difference in your life? Eric would want to know, have you made a difference in someone's life? Have you completed what God has called you to do? Have you finished what you're supposed to do? Have you completed God's will? Eric would want to know and want you to ask yourself. We would have kept Eric many, many more years. But God decided for some reason that we don't understand, but we do know God knows the best. God knew that it was time for Eric to come home because there was something very special for him to do. Eric loved you, and we will get to meet him again in heaven very soon. God bless you, and God bless your family.